Hey everybody, it's Mike again, and today I am going to show you how to create this huge Amazon reviewer blog post maker. This will basically make a post that looks like this. So we have all of our images, a great intro. I will mention the video thing. We have internal linking. We have the affiliate link. Each one of our pictures also has affiliate links in it. But we have all of this great data for customers to read. And of course, we have to have our disclosure as a main thing. Timestamps and links will be in the descriptions. Obviously, there's some prerequisites for this. You do need a make.com account. And I will mention that my link below will give you a free pro account and 10,000 operations for 30 days, as opposed to signing up any other way where you just get 1,000 operations. You want to try Make Out? I have a special deal that you get 10,000 operations and a pro account so you can try out the whole thing for 30 days. You will need a DataForSEO account for getting YouTube videos. We'll talk about that one later. And we will need to use a web scraper. Now, scraping Amazon has become a complete nightmare. I was using Apify, but they have raised their prices, and plus the data I'm getting is just not working anymore. So I'm actually using Bright Data now, which we'll go over that. I mentioned this in the last video too, that if you're updating a blog or you have a huge blog already, you're either going to need to update a sheet or create a data store. Because once again, we are picking internal links. Now this blog is smaller, so I don't have too many internal links to worry about. Of course, you will need an open router or any of your favorite LLM API keys. You will also need the WordPress plugin for auto uploading images because of the way we're doing this. We need to go over how to get your affiliate link to work properly with this too. Now, of course, I created a simple spreadsheet, but we just need to have our headers. And this is all the information that I need to create this blog. Now, how you get this information, you could just go to Amazon, click on links and get all the stuff you need. But what I'm going to show you is how I use Bright Data with their web scrapers, and it's dirt cheap. We're talking pennies to get this stuff. So if you click on the link below, you'll be taken to this site. Just go ahead and log in. You just want to go over here to web scrapers. After you click on web scrapers, you'll be taken to the scraper main page here. The one I like to use is Amazon products discover by keyword. There's a ton of these, but this is the best one. So discover. So we're going to go to web scraper library. And when you go here, just scroll down a little bit. Amazon comes right up. And as you can see, there's a lot of different scrapers. And each one of these will give you different information. Now, the one I like to use because it gets me the information that I actually use is this one here. Amazon products discover by keyword. We can set up an API, which I'll have to make a video on that because this is a really cool too. But we're going to use the no code scraper because I want to get a bunch of products. So I'm going to get like 30 products. So that way I have a month's worth of information. If you just use this, like once a month to get 30 products, you're going to spend like pennies. So, I mean, you'll put $10 in this and it'll take a year to spend it. So go ahead and click the no code scraper and hit next. And I want to show you that it costs whatever amount, less than a penny. So to understand how this works, there is a dictionary right here at the top of the screen. If you click that, this is all the information you're going to get. And there's a ton. I mean, as you can see, there is a ton of information that you can pull from this one crawl. And then what you're going to want to do here in inputs, this is going to be your keyword. Now, I was using home decor. Actually, I think I was using a different one. Usually what I do is you can just clear those and then add your own input. So, like home, whatever you want. You put your keyword there. Now, the big thing is this right here. Limit per output. If you do not check this, you will literally get every possible item that Amazon has with the word digital camera in it. Don't do that. So we're going to make sure we click that. So go ahead and click it. And now you need to understand that you get the number of records per one input you'd like to collect. So if you put 30 in here and you have 3 things, there's light bulbs, dog toys, home decor, you will get a total of 90 items. If you just have one item, you'll just get 30. But if you have 3 or 4 or 5, you have to times it by that amount. If you had 10 keywords, you could just put 3 and you would get 30 items. I hope that makes sense. I'm not going to do any of the delivery settings. I'm just going to let it run. I don't worry about that. It basically gives you a CSV file when it's done. Do want to mention though that right now, because of the way Amazon has changed things, but the web scraping has changed things, I mean, I was trying to create a web scraper so you guys could actually like use it yourself, but unfortunately I couldn't get it to work right. This does take time now. So as you can see, for 30 items, it took 18 minutes. And I do want to mention back in January, it used to take 2 minutes. Now it's 17, 22, 18. It does take time. Now, after you get your CSV, what I usually do is go ahead and add a new sheet. I don't worry about calling it anything. And we're going to go File, Import. Want to go to Upload, and then just drag your file in there. And then what I do is append to current sheet. It can detect automatically. It usually doesn't have an issue with that. And you're going to get a ton of data. And all I want though is these items, because that's what I'm using for our blog. Now, if you don't want to copy paste, like, I need the title. So here's all my titles. I can just copy these title, and we can just go through here one by one. Of course, another thing we can do is create a simple make automation like this, where we're taking the data from that sheet using a simple thing that just exists. So if I just run this once, it should come up with this. I don't even know how to say that name, and I'm bad with names. Basically going to take stuff from this sheet and put it in this sheet in the way that we actually want it. So all I'm doing is search rows, title exists. And then as you can see, it pulls all the data from that sheet. And then I am just updating the sheet based on what I need. So obviously post ID will be blank. I want status is pending. So when we run the machine, it knows what to do. I get the title. Don't worry about affiliate link because I'll show you how to do that. I just get the URL, the ASIN, the rating, the images, description, features, and all of that. And so I have 30 products on that page. So I'll just go ahead and take this to 30, save, and then we will save this and we will run it once. Now this will cost 30 automations, unfortunately. And then after that is done, we can go to our sheet and voila, we now have this. Now to get your actual affiliate link, so what we're doing is using Amazon's way to use your affiliate link, Amazon.com, and then you have to have this DP, and then this is the ASIN, and then you have to have this question mark, and then tag, and then whatever your Amazon tag is. Now, to get your Amazon tag, you just need to go to Amazon, click on your site stripe up here, and then you want to go to Account, and then Account Settings, and you will be taken to this page where you can manage your tracking IDs. You just go here, and then you will have your tracking ID here. Now, I would recommend setting up different tracking IDs for different projects you're working on, just so you know if something's working. If you just have one tracking ID, how do you know that one's working, right? You don't know where the sales are coming from because unfortunately Amazon doesn't tell you. If you have 5 or 6 blogs or social media accounts, I would set up different tracking IDs for each one, but this is where you would get your tracking ID. And then what I'm doing here is using a simple function where it's equals, it's taking this plus this, it's adding the DP to that, and then it's adding your Amazon affiliate link. So now if we just take this and you go here to see how the crosshairs turn up and we just drag down, you can see that it's adding your affiliate link to all of these. Okay, so to start this, we're going to search rows and then just make sure you're on the right sheet. Obviously, we want our status as pending. We're just going to return 1. And then I always go ahead and run this by itself to make sure it's pulling the right information. So as you can see, it's pulling this, which is from here. In this operation, in this scenario, I am using mainly ChatGPT because this is just an Amazon review. You can set up Open Router and use whatever LLM you want. Since it's just a simple Amazon review, I'm not going crazy because the whole point is I want people to click on the link. I could care less if they read it. Being honest, not many people will be that honest. But then what I have here is a very simple prompt. We just have user. I'll go ahead and pause and write all this down. And I'm just saying you're an Amazon product reviewer. Take the following information. So here's the rest of it. All we're doing is taking the title, the star rating, the description, the features, the product overview, and then we're using the AI reviews because you cannot use Amazon's actual reviews from customers because somewhere in the fine print, I was looking for it in the fine print, but I couldn't find it this time. Basically, Amazon says that their customers are not your customers. So you can't use actual people's reviews. But luckily, with any product now, if we just click on a product here and we scroll to the bottom where the reviews are, this AI customer thing, we can use this because no customers are mentioned. But we can't use these. You're not allowed to. So just know that. But this is okay to use because it's generated It's AI generated from the text of customer reviews. If you look on our spreadsheet here, I have AI review summary and it says customers appreciate, the air freshening and it's too pricey to purchase consistently. There are mixed options about the scent. That way, when we write our blog, I did have a customer rating and final thoughts. It has a 4.2 stars, 158 reviews. Many praise this. Here's another thing about what customers are saying about it. It doesn't matter that this was written by AI because it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. You want people to click your link. Don't dig too far into this. Okay, so I hope you paused the screen, got all that information. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our sitemap so we can have internal linking. Now, once again, I just hard-coded the site that I'm using. And for the sitemap link, you're just going to add this to the end of your URL. Do you want to mention about sitemaps? This is a smaller site. So as you can see, there's only one sitemap that has posts on it. We have pages and all this other stuff, but we just want the post one, which is all the blog posts on this page. And right now there's 85. If you have a bigger blog like this one, you can see that there's 5 sitemaps of posts. Each one of these is about 200. So that's why I said you're going to need to use like the data store or something. I'll leave links. Don't worry. And this is going to get your sitemap. And then I'm using this to pull just the URLs. So make sure you copy this exactly as it's written. We're just doing the join, the map function, and then we're pulling in the dataset, URL, LOC, and that's all we want is this right here. I don't know why I can't highlight it. And then I just have it separating each one by a new line, so it gives me a list of URLs. If I run this, you will see that we get a lot of URLs in here. There's 85 URLs. They're buried in between this stuff, so that's why we're doing this join and then map function. So we're joining the URL with a new line and we're mapping it based on the location. So when you open up this sidebar here, you want to click on this little funky looking, oh, where'd it go? One here. It says functions working with arrays, and then here's join, and then map is also in here. So you would just click join and then click map, and then in between you would put this information. And then just like my last blog, I'm using the same exact Anthropic Claude. It's doing the same exact thing. Now, since we don't actually have an outline that I'm copy pasting, we're just taking the outline from this outline here. So this result, which is this here, is just this one here. And then I'm telling it, if no URLs are relevant, pick 6 random URLs, and then I'm giving it the entire URL list that was created from here. And then to create our JSON outline, this once again is exactly the same as the other blog. So go ahead and freeze the screen there. Now, one thing I did change in this one is I have C example for proper formatting. So I was having issues with this at first. And this is why I like ChatGPT over a lot of other ones, is because I can give it this information and it'll actually do it. When I had Claude doing this, it kept changing words and everything. But go ahead and pause the screen. There's all that. So this first one is a system developer. The next one is a user role. And then I do have the assistant role where I copied the information, product title, section. Your output, you should reply with, product information. Basically, I took a proper JSON, just pasted it in here. Want to make sure you get this part right, the product URL at the end. And that's my whole example. I know that's a lot of information on this one, but I'm basically just taking the information it's getting, what each part is considered. And then I'm saying this is the product title. And then each ones are sections. See how I put section, product URL. And then I say your output should be product information, product title, and then section. So once again, I know this is very confusing. I'm sorry. And then always make sure your response format is a JSON object. If you don't click this, it's under the advanced settings. You will not get the proper thing. We are just going to parse that result. And then the iterator is just going to take the JSON. And then our write article sections here. This is basically copy pasted from the last blog. So we have a developer system role and it's saying you will be provided blah, blah, blah. I'm using the random thing again to give me different H2 and H3 responses. Go ahead and pause and copy all that. And then I'll scroll down to this next part. Go ahead and pause the screen, copy all that. And then we're on do not include, a sources list. And then once again, we have our internal link set up. And then of course I do have at the end of each section, insert my affiliate link for this product. It should be a valid HTML tag. Check current pricing available here. Now this is a big thing with Amazon, is the whole pricing thing. Amazon has a big deal about pricing. You know, you can't just display the current pricing on your website without including all these details, which to me, that's a pain in the butt because Amazon and the vendors, they're constantly changing their pricing. So I would just stay away from posting any pricing on your Amazon page, telling it to include my affiliate link, and you can change these variables to any ones you want. But once again, this is a review. I just want people to click on my link, so I make each section nice and small. And then in the user role here, I'm just using the section title from the iterator. You see, we'll have a title. Here's the description. And then we have our format HTML. Now, I find ChatGPT the best for doing the formatting. The writing the section, you can change that to any one you prefer. But for the formatting, I prefer ChatGPT. So here's the entire prompt you need. It's all in one easy to read thing there. Man, Grammarly doesn't like me today. Oh, I guess that would make sense on YouTube. But yeah, this is all we're doing. We're basically taking the text from our last section and turning it into HTML. And then for the user role, I'm basically giving it the result from the last module, which is this right here. We just drag that right there. And then this is where it starts to get fun. So we just set up a variable for section media because we're going to need that later. And then we're going to have a router set up. Now this is going to pull all of our images. And I know this looks very confusing. It's not. So we need to pull our original sheet. So we need to pull this sheet back in because we want to make sure we're getting the correct information. You technically don't need to add this, but when I do add it, I find this works a lot better. All I'm doing is sorting it by the ASIN is equal to the ASIN. Just return one result. And then here we're using the increment function. And you want to reset a value after one scenario run. There's two options. There's a cycle, a scenario, and never. So when you do a scenario run, that means every time this scenario completely runs, this will reset. If you set this to after one cycle, it'll keep giving you number one again. So basically what we're doing is we're adding a number to this because in our Amazon pictures, images here, as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 pictures in here. I want Claude here to pick the image. Just use the incremental function, make sure it's after a scenario run, and then we're going to set a variable, which we're going to call a counter. And I'm taking the variable from here, which is going to be a 1, and then it's going to be a 2, and then I'm doing a plus 1. So our first run, this is going to come out to a 2. So watch, if I just go ahead and run this, you see that our output is a 1. If I run this, we already know this is going to be a 1. So now you can see my output is 2. Now you're probably saying, why am I doing that? Well, on this prompt here to get our image, it's going to get URL number and then the counter from this list of images. So your first image it's going to pull is the second image because the first image is the featured image and we want that to be the featured image of our blog. So it's going to pull the second image. And then when it runs again, it's going to pull the third image and then the fourth image and then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Go ahead and copy that. Not all products will have a lot of images. So if it only has 1 or 2 images, that's all you're going to have on your entire blog. So you might want to go in and change that later. But luckily, most people now on their listings are putting more than 1 picture. Thank God. But yeah, just go ahead and copy that. And that's all you need for that one. And so if I just run this module just to show you, so you can see that it got us the second image here. So the DSAG7L, the second image, because this is the first image. And then you can see it wraps around to the second image here. So it actually pulled the second image. And as you can see in the message here, it says get URL tool 2 from this list of URLs. So you can see how that works. And then what we have here is so we don't error out. I had to set up 2 variables. Now this is going to get a little confusing. So go ahead and pause the screen and write this and copy this here, taking the section media and turning it into an HTML property. That way our picture is clickable with our affiliate link. If I go back to here, this picture here, if I click on it, you can see it takes me to the product. So what I'm doing is strong and then small and then the title. This right here, let me just have a better picture. So you can see this is the title of the product that's included in this. And then once again, we have our picture that's clickable. And then I have this image as the property of Amazon just to make sure I don't run into any issues. Doing a strong, small, and then strong and small. And then I'm putting my affiliate link with the image source. Just make sure you write this out exactly like this. And then we're going to save it. There's no picture. So this first filter is going to be if the text response contains HTTPS, which as you can see, it did. It contained HTTPS. The second one here basically says does not contain HTTPS. And all this is blank. Because like I said, you will get blank images, but if you don't do this, it'll just error out because this is looking for a text response. And if there is no response, it will error out. So that's why I have this. This is kind of a fallback. And it'll just give it a blank value. So I hope that makes all sense. As it's running, we're just going to set a variable here. Just get set variable, call it section media. And then our text aggregator, we're doing the iterator. So it's this iterator here. So when you select this, you want to pick this iterator. It should be your only iterator, right? So just select the iterator. We want a row separator is new rows. And you will have to click the advanced options to get this text box. But then we're just taking the result from our format HTML. So we're taking this result from here. And I don't know if these new lines do anything. I just do it as a safety precaution. And then below that, I want the section media, which it's pulling this whole thing here into the section media. And then I have a break, and then I have an HR. So HR stands for line. So on the blog post here, you can see that there is a line right here. And then there is a line right here. There is a line right there. The reason I'm doing that is in case there's no pictures, at least it looks somewhat better. You know, some of these products will not have YouTube videos, so I just have a line being put in just to be safe, just so it looks clean. So the next thing we're going to do is make a request to get a YouTube URL using DataForSEO. We're going to use that as a post method, JSON, and then you just want to copy this exactly as it is on here. And then we're just using the title /YouTube to see if there's any YouTube videos on this product. And then of course we want to parse the response. And then you will have to go down here to advanced settings. And then after you hit advanced settings, you're going to want to put your username and password here from DataForSEO. And then after that, we're going to get our YouTube list variable. So you just want to type in YouTube/URL/list. And then after we set that variable, we're going to choose a video URL. So go ahead and pause the screen and write all that down. We're just looking for YouTube URLs, and then we're doing the join and the map function again to get these items. And then after it chooses the URL, we're going to write an intro and key takeaways. Now this one is copied again from the previous blog writer. Go ahead and pause the screen on this one. So we just have a simple developer system prompt, and then this one here, this is all one. It's all on the screen. Just go ahead and pause and write all that. And then we are going to humanize the content. This one is a little more advanced, so we're just going to create a chat completion, the system role. So let me just copy that. So go ahead and pause the screen. And then I'll just scroll down. So here's the next part. Following words should not be used. This will change constantly with the way AI is constantly being ridiculous. So if you know there's certain words that AI loves to use, this is where you would definitely put them in this list. For the user role here, we're just bringing the result in from this, and then it'll rewrite it and humanize it for us. We are then going to format it into HTML, which is basically just copying this one here. So to save yourself some time, you could just clone this and then drag it down here. But go ahead and pause the screen, and we just have a simple thing where we have a user, which is basically getting this result from our humanizer. And now we need to get the main image, which we're basically doing the same thing. And for some reason, I'm using affiliate link on this one. I don't know why, but just like when we were getting when we were trying to get the second, third, and fourth images, now we actually want this image, because the first image in here, this is the featured image. This is the featured image here. And even if we click on one of my links, we go to the product, see, there's the picture that we want. All you need to do is set up a filter where it's going to find the same exact one. So like I said, this one's using affiliate link. You can use the ASN. You just need it to find that one. All I'm telling Claude to do in the next one is get the first URL from this list of images, which we're pulling from that. Only respond if no URLs found, be a blank output. No other data needed for that one. After Claude responds with the URL, we are then going to get the file. Now, pause the screen here, write all this down. This only happens with Claude, but this is the monstrosity that you need to make sure that there is no blank spaces. Now, for some reason, with Claude's replies, this is basically getting rid of all the possible white space. Now, if you just have the text response, this will error out occasionally. I actually found this code through searching. People were saying, when I have it return a URL, it doesn't want to work. Using the make community, I was able to find this. So I would just write this just like this. I know it looks crazy. I don't know if that helps any better. But you'll just have to do replace, 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 and then your text message response from Claude. The replace function is in the text and binary functions. Oh, I just saw it where to go. So there's replace right there. So you just want to go to this A, click on that, and you're going to click it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Make sure you're putting all the apostrophes, the bracket. Yeah, just write it like that. It's the only way I can get it to work. I'm sorry. Of course, we're going to write an SEO excerpt, and then we just have a developer system prompt. This is your whole prompt right here. Just go ahead and pause the screen and copy all that down. For the user role, I'm giving it this result from the humanized text is coming from the aggregator. So this is pulling the entire article with the intro to be able to create our optimal SEO excerpt. And then we're going to create a media item. So this is creating the featured image, actually. What I'm doing is I'm mapping the data. I don't like to get the file because the file name it'll be a simple file name, and WordPress loves to overwrite things. So if you have a 1.jpg and then upload another 1.jpg, it'll override the other one. So the simplest way to do that is in the file name. All I'm doing is pulling in the file name, which you can see right here. It's called file.jpg. But then I'm adding the now function, which is under calendar right here. So if we click on that calendar and just bring the now in, it'll create the timestamp basically of right now. So today's date plus, why is it on November 25th? That's weird, but it'll create the timestamp. This is the metadata for the picture. You can change this if you want. I just put the title for everything just so all the data is complete. We're going to create a post and just make sure your title, and then I have review after it. So it's taking our initial title, which like for this one is this, and it's adding review to the end of it, which as you can see, it does it like this. So there's the whole thing plus review at the end. You can change this up all you want. I would probably recommend changing it up. For example, I would probably get rid of the 3.4 fluid ounce part of this. I would probably keep the rest though. And then for your content here, this is going to get a little confusing. Let's see if I can get this right all on the one screen. This result here is our HTML formatted. This result here would actually be our YouTube video if there is one. And then this 42 text is this right here. And then of course I have new lines, and I just added a bunch of P's in here. I don't think this is necessary. But then we do have to have this is the bare minimum you need for Amazon to be an Amazon associate. This is it. You need to have this on every single one of your blog posts. We scroll down to the bottom here. You can see I have it right here. And if we go to the Amazon, your agreements here, which you should be reading this stuff, you can see that they say that as an Amazon affiliate, I earn from qualifying purchases. So that's the bare minimum you need. You can put more or less. Well, I wouldn't put less, but you can change the wording, but this is like the bare minimum that you need to have on your site. So as long as you have this, you will always be good. I do like to mention that after the YouTube video, I do have this HR tag, which once again is a line, because sometimes you will not get a YouTube video for these products. It won't find anything. So that's why I just have the line put in here just to kind of break up the text. Of course, here at the bottom, I have italics. And then I do have another line at the end. So that way it has line, and then it has our disclosure, and then there's another line, just so it looks a little clean. And then of course, this is a post. You're going to want to pull your excerpt from your writer. I always submit these as a draft. You'll have to pick your categories, your tags, your author, and your featured media item comes from the item that you uploaded. So when we created a media item, you'll just drag in this right here. And then what I do is I then get the post that we just created. So we just created this post. I click that, and now I'm updating the sheet. So that way I'll have the post ID, and it'll change the status from pending to done, the timestamp of today. This is an optional one. I don't even have that spreadsheet open, but I have another spreadsheet where I put all the information. I'm kind of creating my own sitemap. That's what this is. You know, you can see the other video, what I do with that. But all in all, that is that. So if you have the other blog poster that I did, you can copy a lot of these modules into this one, make it a lot simpler. Like I said, the main thing is if you're going to use Amazon, make sure you're using this. And also I do want to mention Amazon does have a link checker. If you just go into here, go to tools, go to link checker, you can put your link in. So after it creates this link here, we can copy that. You can bring it into your link checker and check the link. Obviously, this is not going to work for me because it's not a valid link. But if this tag here was your actual ID, this would be green and say that this is good. So yeah, don't be afraid to use that. So you will need this WordPress plugin for this because this auto uploads images. Because right now we just have links of images. And what this plugin will do will actually save the photos or the pictures into your WordPress library. So that way, if the pictures ever get taken down, like on Amazon, you're not directly linking. Plus, Amazon doesn't want you to directly link to their photos. This here is the plugin you need. It's called Auto Upload Images. Now, every time I've tried to search for this, I can't find it. Use this name right here. And then if you just go to Add New Plugin and search Ollie or Allie, I'm so bad with names. And there it is right there. So you just make sure you activate this plugin. You just want to make sure it's this one right here. I'm sure there's other ones out there. This one works the best for me. Every other one I've tried doesn't work right. This one works great. All right. So other than that, all right. So that's all I got for you today. That was a lot. I'm sorry. Let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, all the links will be down below. Check it out. Leave me any requests. You know, you're having issues, let me know. Other than that, I'll see you again. Have a good one.